Hi everyone, this is Callie. Thanks for joining me today. I've got some thank you shower cards here that are also tags that I had created for my neighbors who decided to throw me a baby shower last night when we got together for our monthly ladies' night. So these tags coordinate with my current nursery theme, which is chevron, grays, some light pink, and light teal. So to start, I have pre-cut some Recollections 110-pound cardstock. I just wanted it to be real heavy because it's going to be one layer. So this is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 standard A2 size, and I'm going to be using my Misty to stamp on that Positively Chevron background stamp by Stampin' Up. And I'm going to flip my Misty here because I don't know why I always try to use it like a left-handed tool, but I'm right-handed. The cling on this doesn't stick too well, so I'm adding some adhesive that's non-permanent. At first I thought I wanted a piece of scrap paper on this so that it can catch any ink from the remaining space from the stamp, but then I couldn't see my grid, so I went ahead and removed that piece of scrap paper so that I can line up my cardstock exactly where it needs to be, and so that it can be straight as well. So once I have figured that out, I will go ahead and use some smoky slate or any light gray stamp that you might have if you choose to use gray. But I have Stampin' Up inks, and so this is smoky slate. I've pre-inked it or added a little bit of re-inker just to make sure it's a little juicy. So I'm going to start stamping all of these cardstocks, and the chevron portion of the card is actually the back. So I didn't want the back to just be all white, so I wanted it to be gray. So I'm going to stamp all of the backgrounds that way. And then when I'm done with that, I am going to use a tag die from Mama Elephant from a set called Tags a Lot. And I'm going to cut all of the tags out. And again, since the chevron piece side is the back, I'm going to be using the white side, which is the front, to cut out my tag. So I'm just removing the adhesive here. It comes right off when you rub it. And then I also have had a question about how to take these apart. I know it may seem a little bit straightforward to some of you, but I guess there are new stampers out there, and I didn't know what I was doing at first as well when I first started doing this a year and a half ago. So I have here some flush wire cutters that I am just going to cut the in between these little wire guards that hold these tags together. So as I cut it, I just put it back on my magnet sheet the way it was created before. It just, that's the best way to keep everything together. And what I love about this set is there's lots of tags, but I really liked it because of those enforcers that are there that I just pointed out. So I'm using this really large tag that's from this set. And again, I am going to be cutting the top side, which is the white side. And so I'm going to use my Big Shot here, and I just wanted to show you. I learned this from Jennifer McGuire. She cuts on one plate and leaves her top plate clean. That way only one plate gets cut up, and then you can really still see the work on the plate that's clean. Never mind that number 3 there. I was doing a project with my sister-in-law and we accidentally cut on the wrong one, but that's okay. So I'm going to run that through, and yeah, I just wanted to show you how I use my plates. And when they curve, when your plates start to bend, just flip it over and start using the other side. So I do that very often. I flip sides a lot. So there are all my chevron pieces and my tags, and I've gone ahead and used that center reinforcement tag die to cut out these reinforcers in Blushing Bride cardstock by Stampin' Up. And you see the holes there. And so I'm going to go ahead and cut them up or punch them with a standard hole punch. And then that way I could put the enforcer over it, and then you can still see the hole. So I'll hole punch all of these, and then to adhere those reinforcer tags, I'm going to use some fast fuse adhesive. I'm using fast fuse because there's a small area on this and I really want it to stick and adhere well. So that's why I'm using fast fuse, but you can use any glue, of course, or adhesive that you might have. So I'll go ahead and complete all of those. I've been making a lot of mass production type things lately, so I feel like all of my videos are more than 10 cards or more than 10 things at once, and so it's just a tedious thing for me. But anyhow, I'm going to be using some zoo animals, and I'm actually just using this one elephant stamp. I do have elephants in the nursery, so I thought this was perfect. Again, the stamp set is called Zoo Animals, and it's by Stampin' Up. So I'll stamp that in the lower bottom hand corner. And then for the top, I wanted to die cut the word thanks. And I decided to use the word thanks from this Hello You Thinlits set by Stampin' Up as well. I'm trying to stay with Stampin' Up products for this project. And I've got this word thanks, and it does go over a little bit, but I think that adds a little bit of charm. So I've used some mint macaron cardstock to cut these out, and I wanted to show you. It's a little bit tricky to get them all to cut cleanly, and I wanted to share with you what the best method was for me as far as running it through my Big Shot. So what I did was I used my standard Sizzix, my multi-purpose Sizzix platform here, and then I went ahead and put down my shim, my metal adapter shim. Then I used the Sizzix precision base plate, and then you use that base plate like you would a standard cutting plate. So I went ahead and put my cardstock down, and then the die on top of that, and then the standard top cutting plate. Again, that precision base plate just replaces the cutting plate. And likewise, you can also use a magnetic platform, then your shim, then your standard cutting plate, and then your paper as usual, your die, and then your top cutting plate. I did it both ways, and I found that the precision base plate did a better job of cutting these words out cleanly. So I just wanted to share that with you real quick. And now I'm using multimedia matte glue to go ahead and add some adhesive to this word die. And I found that this was a little bit tough on my fingers, trying to squeeze the adhesive out. So after the first 2 times that I did that, I went ahead and squeezed some multimedia matte glue on a piece of extra craft sheet that I have by Ranger. And then I have this brush that I just use only for adhesives, and I'm just going to brush on that adhesive because it just goes a lot faster for me than squeezing it out of a tiny bottle. And I had 12 of these to do, so I just wanted to share that with you as well. Again, any adhesive will work. I do have Stick It that I could use, but since the words were hanging off, I didn't want to mess with that. So that was how I decided to do that. Now I have some Blushing Bride twine to match that reinforcer tag piece that I have towards the top there. So I'm just going to get a length that I want, and then I'm going to tie a knot at the end, and then I'm going to pull it through and then pull it through the center and just make a little tag. So that is it, and I'm going to write the note there on it, and then I'm going to deliver it by hand. I'm just going to walk around the block, push my little 3-year-old around, and deliver this to these neighbors who decided to gift me with presents last night. So I hope you enjoyed this project. I really enjoyed making it, even though it was a tedious process. I'd say that die cutting the word thanks and removing it with my piercing tool was the longest of the whole entire process. But anyway, as always, thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more of my work, here are 2 more videos that you can click on. It'll direct you to the videos for these cards. And I thank you again for following and for watching, and I hope everyone has a great day. Have a great weekend. Bye.